What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Fad Gadget, as well as a very ridiculous Luca. We'll see what she does. Once again, shout out to Han Solo, who made available this compilation of Fad Gadget's material. And the next tune I've chosen to listen to, because I've just been picking them based on titles, is King of the Flies. So, inevitably, I'm thinking of the novel Lord of the Flies, which is superior to the film of the same name. Nevertheless, yes, it sounds like someone whose monarchy is not grand and opulent and on a higher scale, and perhaps there is a darker side to it or an irony to it. But yes, a fly is a little insignificant thing in relation to the scale and affairs of humans. So in that regard, again, there seems to be an irony or an internal tension, or Luca eating a box, in relation to the song title. So before she goes and does something ridiculous like that, let's listen to the tune. This is Fad Gadget. The tune is King of the Flies, and it's included on a larger Fad Gadget compilation provided by Mr. Solo. No, you see, you gotta not do that. That is not helpful. crazy tune. So, I mean, at the very beginning, I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of like a Gary Newman track, like in part because of the way he was singing, but also just, there was that kind of old school synth, like reverberation. Speaking of reverberation and like respiration, that deep electric bass pulse at the end of the tune was quite something. But yeah, as I said, at the beginning it reminded me of Newman. As it went along, it was like so frenetic and dynamic and a bit crazy that it sort of made me think like if you mixed a Newman track with like a Thomas Dolby track, you'd get something like that. Which again, when I make associations, it's not to claim, any lineage. It's not to in any way diminish the artist I'm listening to, but my brain makes associations, and those are the ones that came to my head here. But yeah, I enjoy the eclectic nature of the composition. I think there was a steel drum in there. Like I was trying to figure it out at first, and I think there was some other percussive rhythms, or were some other percussive rhythms. But yeah, that tinny melody slash percussive rhythm, I think that was a steel drum, which certainly gave it a bit of a, like Caribbean quality. There were other aspects that sounded a bit Eastern, so the flavor of the sonics had a bit of a mixture as well. But yeah, it was, syncopated, it was very rhythmically dense, there was a lot going on, but there was also this kind of, poppin', like bass guitar type of bass line that was really stand out as well. So yeah, it had a bit of a mixture of like, synth or keyboard sounds with some more natural instrument sounds. Lyrically, I don't really know what's going on, but it sounds a bit dark. Like he was saying, like he changes the rules to suit himself, and I think something about like, selling his soul. He was talking about, what was it? He's dragging down and he's pulling his friends into the ground, which all sounds a bit like self-destructive and maybe even like radiating negative consequences out to the people around you, and also self-justifying while you're doing it, but also again maybe like compromising your values or your ethics or your soul, so to speak, to achieve whatever you're trying to do, come what may and no matter what cost. So yeah, I guess like Lord of the Flies, could be, or not Lord of the Flies, sorry, King of the Flies could be, he's done so much to be on top of whatever he thinks he is, but he's aware like his kingdom, if you will, is wicked and doesn't amount to much in an actual context or like control. But he did say he made some money on the way down. So I'm also again like selling your soul. You might have compromised everything and pulled your friends down with you, but hey, you made some cash on the way down. So yeah, an interesting tune. I do think the themes here are darker than I might have expected in advance. But yeah, shout out to Mr. Tovey, and RIP, of course. I do think it's cool to finally catch up on this name, which I've heard, going back years before I even did these reactions, but it wasn't until Mr. Solo passed along some information and material and made a recommendation that I've actually heard his music. So enjoying the journey. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.